Seafood Evan fan here. Welcome back. Aiden Morrow's Wing Chun. Today, the star of the show is going to be Bong Sau, okay? Otherwise known as the wing arm or the wing block. Depends how you understand the concept in Wing Chun. Wing arm is actually the translation. So Bong Sau, this motion here, okay? Actually, it's important to think about the reason I'm describing it as a motion rather than a position is Bong Sau is not a position that you stay in here, okay? This is a fluid, the whole thing is the Bong Sau. The whole motion is Bong Sau, okay? Reason we introduced it next, in the first Wing Chun technique video, you learned about Tan Sau, okay, the dispersing hand. This one, Bong Sau, the reason we do next is because it comes very naturally. It's a transition from Tan Sau. So now that you understand, okay, here's how you do your Tan Sau, you may be using this for all kinds of different applications, okay? So you could use this to stop a force. You could have your hand out here in Tan Sau. Bong Sau turns here, your Tan Sau is here. Bong Sau means the energy comes forward like a corkscrew and creates a shape that looks kind of like a wing. So this is one of those techniques. So if you remember when I was talking about the history of Wing Chun, we talk about how Wing Chun is a mixture of Sichuan, the snake fist, and Fujian white crane. So this wing arm here, obviously, it's a crane technique. Okay, helps you understand it. So this position here, how you go from Tan Sau, you can focus on a couple of driving forces here. First driving force is with your hand, you're gonna describe a corkscrew motion as it comes forward. So very important to remember that Bong Sau is not just from Tan Sau here, just lift your elbow. That's not the technique, okay? Not an up and down technique. It's a spiral technique. So that means from here, if my hand is here, my hand's gonna move forward, spiral up into Bong Sau here, okay? So here, spiral, that's where we create the technique, okay? So it's a spiral motion. So you'll also see, in addition to spiraling coming forward, Wing Chun almost always goes and uses two different directions of attack, two different directional movements. My hand is going here, not just going forward here, actually it's rising as well, okay? So forward and up, those two directions are what create this Bong Sau. Other thing you're gonna notice is when we're applying this technique, you can do it as a straight technique, so come straight from here if you need to. Most commonly, we use this technique in combination with a pivot. So in addition to actually creating this space here, I'm turning and pivoting my body at the same time. So you can look back at your stance videos and how to move videos and kind of figure out how that's going to work. But as I'm using this technique, as I'm throwing this Bong Sau, I'm also pivoting in my stance here. That's going to do a couple of things. So one of the main, kind of most important, if you want to think about life-saving kind of techniques here with Bong Sau, is that what I'm using here is if an incoming force is very strong. So someone's throwing a very strong punch or rushing a lot of energy at me, I don't want to. Wing Chun, we're not trying to fight force with force. So we're always assuming that your attacker is going to be bigger than you. So if my attacker is a very big person, he's throwing a large punch straight at me, I don't want to just try to meet that with my smaller arm. What's going to happen in that case? If I go force to force with someone with more force than me, then I'm going to get crushed, get knocked back, okay? So Bong Sau, like a lot of our techniques, the idea here is instead of just meeting that incoming force head on, I'm going to take that force, I'm going to redirect it so that I can do something else and also keep myself out of danger. All right? So we're going to try to make that shape, we're going to try to use it to redirect energy. That's what it is. It's rolling energy off. All right? Like this wing shape here. One way to know you're doing a couple technique tips. So you'll notice, unlike some of the other techniques where we focus on that fixed elbow position here, where your elbow is fist length from your body, Bong Sau obviously deviates from that. So we're making a wide shape here because it serves that specific purpose, okay? So a couple things to think about the shape of this. One way you know you get the right idea is that we're holding, almost like you're holding onto it like a beach ball. So you don't have it bent up like this. Why? Because if my Bong Sau is too close to my body like this, it's gonna be very easy to collapse. You make this shape round, then when the force comes from the outside, you can roll, you have to roll with that force. Has to be round. Almost just imagine there's a beach ball, you're kind of holding onto that beach ball there, all right? Other saying in Chinese that water always flows down Bong Sau. So that means this, your elbow should be slightly above in Bong Sau, your wrist position here. So if you can see from this angle here, if you put water on here, it's going to flow down here. All right? The strength in this position comes from, so you remember I was talking about how critical it is to drop your shoulder down. You keep this energy sound, it's actually going to be the structure of your body, your stance and your structure that we've already developed. The structure is what supports this motion. And it supports this shape, makes it strong. If this shape deviates too much and is too far, I'll show you so you can see from the center here. Here's my Bong Sau, just past center line, okay? If this comes too far out here, suddenly the shape becomes weak because my body's not there to support it anymore. So you want to make sure that your body, you can feel, if you have someone press against it, you can feel when your structure is there to support it. Okay, just like Tan Sau, your body structure supports the shape. Otherwise you would feel you get very tired when there's energy against it. Okay? The last piece here, when I apply this technique, my hand is relaxed here, so can't tense up. If you tense your hand, it creates tension through the whole line, it won't work. The strength is here, this should feel relaxed, strong like a spring, okay? Like everything else in Wing Chun, it's like a spring energy here, okay? So, one way that's gonna help, this you can practice this one on your own, it's gonna help you to understand how it looks in application. Now you kind of need to see how it works against a punch. So I'm just going to ask my son Napoleon to come because that way you can see. So thank you, Napoleon. So he's here. So if he's throwing a punch, at me here. Oh, this big punch, in this case he's just being nice, he's not throwing it really hard at me. I'm using this technique to get off to the side here. So if you can see his punch now, my head is here, it's behind. I got to the side, I moved to this side. Remember I talked about the blind side in Wing Chun? Blind side means the outside of the attacking hand here. That's the position I use this Bong Sau. We'll show again. He's coming, throws a punch at me. Whoa! I use the Bong Sau, okay, to get off to the side here. Now, that puts me on this side of him. Just like what we're always trying to do in Wing Chun. All my energy is now facing him, but as you can see from him, his energy is facing this way, okay? Because I'm off the center. I moved him off the center, but I maintained my center. My toes, my structure, my stance, everything is pointing this direction. If I can achieve that, he's going this way, I'm now going this way, then what happens is, it allows me to come in and attack from here, go to here, do whatever, okay? There's different options. He comes, he throws a punch, whoa, I'm off the center, I come into attack here, okay? Because we put ourselves in that good position. That's the concept there. Now let's say, it's not a perfect circumstance, now accidentally I'm facing him straight ahead here. He throws the punch, but I catch it with Bong Sau anyway. In this case, okay, if I hold my Bong Sau here, it's going to get pushed back. So you'd never, Bong Sau, remember I said it's a moving technique? You don't stay stuck and hold in this position. It's not ideal, all right? Especially not for downward force like this, it's not going to be perfect. So the second I go into this shape here, I want to get out of that shape, then back into your original position. You already know Tan Sau. So Bong Sau becomes Tan Sau. Bong Sau can become Tan Sau, and that allows you to create an entry for attack. Okay? So, for you at home, you can start by practicing it slow. Start from your Tan Sau position here, this arm in Tan Sau. Then practice first slowly, spiral forward and pivot, then come back into Tan Sau. Okay? I'll get this hand out of the way. So here, Tan Sau, spiral forward, Bong Sau. Then you practice on the other side, same thing. Okay, spiral. Keep it relaxed. Into your shape and back in. Remember, hold that beach ball there. Keep this relaxed, water flow down. Okay? We're going to work on that. Then we'll keep adding more pieces to the puzzle. You'll see from here, then it can become, there's so many different options from there. Okay? But Bong Sau is that important one. When you need to create space for yourself, when you need to deal with that oncoming force, then Bong Sau is your friend there. Alright? Thank you.